Hey, mamas.
Hello.
How are you? How's everyone?
I'm good.
How's isolation with no kids treating you guys?
Let Jonah reply to that one because he's smiling.
It's actually, it's been all right. Isolation hasn't been too difficult, I guess, because I have no kids. But yeah, it's been calm.
Did you guys see that tweet
It's a great time
about
to
what time? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Liberties.
Yeah, we can't relate.
What did you guys think of it?
I don't know. I was going to ask you guys that because obviously you guys got kids. How do you guys feel about it? Because I saw it came on my Twitter feed, right? And then there was a mix of beef going on in between people. So you had people that don't have kids, they will keep sharing it, and you had people that with kids, they were really getting pissed off at basically the tweet. So we in our last podcast we actually spoke about it, but obviously it's three of us, we don't have kids, so it's a bit, we're gonna say what we feel.
It was biased.
How do you feel about it?
To be honest, for me, it's been all right. It's not been as bad as some parents have it because my child, he's still very young. He's only 10 months. Living room is big enough for him. So, nap time comes. He still has 2 naps. So that means 2 naps for me as well if I sort my shit out in the morning and get lunch done. But other than that, you just kind of let him crawl around and he'll beat the dog up. But I think it's been quite hard for other parents that actually have to bring their children out of routine.
Yeah, I found the tweet actually hilarious. He was like, damn, man.
You either cry about it or you laugh.
Yeah, if only maybe we'd waited a couple more years. But, the other side of me, I just thought, you know what, it's the position that we're in. You guys that don't have children living your best life, carry on.
You enjoy that.
Exactly. And let's say with Maya, she's a bit older now. She requires that stimulation. It's been a bit tough. But she's good.
I guess for you as well, Mel. Sorry, I guess for you as well, because you're actually working from home.
Trying to.
You're not just at home.
That's the other thing that's challenging. And Daniel's home, which is great. But in Maya's eyes, she's like, oh, mummy's here, so fun times, let's play.
Why do you think people take offense?
Someone's having a bad day and they've got children. I can see why they'll be like, ugh. Why are you rubbing it in our faces? The fact that you can't even leave your house, it's tough. But
to be fair, I think we are like bitter people as well. Like, just let other people be happy. Like, you're the one that didn't use contraception or the one that planned to have a child. And also, how were you supposed to know you were going to see a pandemic with children? You make your own atmosphere at home. So I think people need to chill a bit. It's all a hard time for everyone.
I saw also someone post something quite recently. It said, I'll screenshot it quickly. It said something for anyone feeling frustrated not being able to do anything right now because you have kids at home. My friend so-and-so just told me to chill out because this is a global crisis, not a writer's retreat. Like, that's quite true. That's like, this isn't the time to just be off and start your side hustle. This is a pandemic happening, something unexpected.
Absolutely. And you know what? I know it's really hard to also get yourself in a routine, but you need to try get it to work somehow. So you can't now blame the children for being children, or you can't blame them for not, starting your hustle, learning a new skill. Like, they go to bed. Maybe you need to now sacrifice an hour or 2 after bedtime to put this to yourself.
And not every day is there's gonna be days where they're gonna be tough and other days when it's okay. And I think maybe with that point that you say, Jonah, it's about not being too hard on yourself because there's a lot of just pressure out there. People are saying, oh, well, I'm at home, I should technically have more time to do this, so I need to get A, B, C, D done. And if you don't get it done, then all of a sudden you're looking at yourself feeling like a failure. It's unnecessary pressure.
To be fair, I've been in the pandemic since Leo was born, so I've been in quarantine since maternity leave. I've been at home. Everyone's like, oh, God, we can't go out anymore. We can't do this. And I'm like, this has been my life.
If anything, maybe the people who are...
Maybe it's the dads being bitter.
Or maybe the dads will then realise, wow, okay, is this what goes on when I'm at work or whatever, or does she really say this word so many times? Maya doesn't talk 100% yet, but she is at this stage where she's talking enough and she will just repeat it. So like if she wants biscuit, she'll be like, see, biscuit, see, biscuit, see. And can you imagine that?
Like a broken record.
It's enough to drive anyone up the wall. And I've got Dan looking at me like, does she ever stop? And I'm like, no. You know what I realized?
Yeah, what?
That we didn't even introduce you, lot.
For fuck's sake.
So,
I've got to break the ice.
Mama's Code.
Better late than never, guys. We have the lovely guys from Just Peanuts, Jonathan, Marcelo, and Josh. Guys, how long have you been doing your side hustle?
Well,
It's been on and off, really.
I think a year now, isn't it?
About a year, yeah. But yeah, it's
Actually doing it a year, but that's over a course of like 2.5 years or 2 years.
Yeah, because we take long to do things. So we have been speaking about this. Yeah, we were speaking about it for over a year until we actually decided to start doing it weekly. And even when we started doing it weekly, there's a gap where we stopped doing it for like 4 months. So we decided to call it season 1 and then begin season 2. We're currently doing season 2.
So, guys, we've obviously just talked about you guys, how you're feeling, not having. Well, did you guys even tell us how you feel about being on lockdown without children? Does it make you feel lucky? Does it make you feel any different? Of
course it does. They get to sleep when they want. They don't have to share their food. They're not changing anyone's diapers. They're not hearing this child cry.
Is it boring?
No, because they've got wives or girlfriends that are still annoying them like a child would, because that's just how we are.
Yeah, I mean,
drive them up the wall.
To be fair, yeah, I'm a person that always wanted children. Yeah, I've been married now for 7 years and together for 10 years, and I'm always been the one that I want children. I'm ready. But as I'm getting older, I'm a bit like started to pull out. I'm like, oh, let's wait 2 more years, 3 more years. When we got married 7 years ago, we said 5 years. That was the original plan, right? And we're like, okay, in 5 years we're gonna have children. But then again, my wife is 6 years younger than me. So I'm 30. She's right now 24. So she's a bit still younger than me. But then so I was from the first go, I was like, yeah, I want children because I want to have family. We hit the 5 years. Someone said nothing.
Yeah.
Negotiated again. So I said, okay, we said another 3 years. So apparently this is the year that we're supposed to be trying for next year. But obviously that's been delayed for another 3 years.
No, it hasn't. We're in a pandemic. We're in a lockdown. You're going to have a baby in December. You're going to have a baby in December.
Obviously now that I'm thinking after everything, the whole lockdown happening, I don't know how I will cope. I wake up early, so that's not a problem. But I don't know how it would be when it comes to meals, because we pretty much eat whenever we want. And I know when you have kids, that's not the case. It's not, I'm not going to wake up and eat cereals until 6 o'clock when we get hungry again.
Yeah.
So you have to cook. So little things like that I started to notice. I was like, okay, you know what? Thank God that I didn't push much for it to come. If I did have children, I'm sure we'd be having fun right now. But on the other side, I get to sleep late, wake up late, and do things.
Okay, rubbing it in.
So I'm rubbing it in your face.
Rubbing it in.
I might just take offense now, to be honest.
But I do. Don't get me wrong. I do want. I don't know what to expect. Because you know what? One funny thing is I just literally remember that now. Yeah, last time I was with my wife. I can't remember. I think we were walking down Westfield and there was like a kids shop, right? Where they sell clothes. Could you believe it that I never thought that you have to buy kids clothes? It never crossed my mind. These things never crossed my mind. So she was like, so what did you think? I was like, I don't know. I thought it came with baby clothes. Like, literally, honestly speaking.
In the package.
A 30-year-old man that, you have to buy all these kids clothes. And then I was like, oh, let's go. And then we went into Foot Locker, check out trainers. And it was like £40 for a pair of trainers that they probably wear a couple months. And I was like, sort of caught me by surprise. Honestly speaking, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know what I thought. I thought it came with clothes from the hospital, NHS package, free clothing.
Here you go. Here's your new
and here's like 2 years worth of supplies.
I've got news for you. They don't come with clothing and they don't come with a manual. So Google is as good as it gets, to be honest.
And you know what? When you have your child and you're up at whatever time, Googling, why does my baby make this noise when it does this? The amount, and you're not the only one Googling. So Google becomes your best friend almost in a way, but also your worst enemy.
But I think that relates to the women, because when the baby wakes up in the middle of the night, men don't hear it. They turn around. They have useless nipples.
Well, I mean, I obviously have confessed that I once didn't wake up, and it was Dad who woke me up.
That's Jonathan. You would just ignore it.
Yeah, I'll probably wake up like, yeah.
I don't know.
Like, oh, you're right, babe. I'm just going to turn around now.
Jonah will get a kick like, wake up.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, we already discussed this, so it'll be me waking up for sure. I've been trained well to wake up.
Is your wife keen on kids at the moment?
No, not at the moment. We're looking at when I'm 33, Jesus age, basically, the perfect age.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
then you'll reach Jesus age and you'll be like...
Then I'm going to be like, no, another 2 years. Then after 3 years, we do 12-month contracts, keep it short.
Roll on.
Roll on, yeah.
What about you guys, Jonah and Josh? You better say you do, because your wife is going to listen to this.
I'll
I
be
do want
sleeping in the
kids
living room.
eventually, but at the moment, no. And I am kind of glad that I don't have kids at this moment. Just personally, I feel like it is a lot more hard work, especially just going shopping for what we want. It's quite difficult to find lots of things. I can't imagine going through that craze right now. It must be very difficult and like very tough. But,
Some parents don't use nappies and they find poo on the floor.
A bit of a disclaimer. So we're potty training our
Right.
darling.
that makes sense. Does she tell you?
Well, the wees are easier. Poos have been a bit more challenging. So we did have a couple accidents where bless her, it's like she knows it's coming, but she can't get to the potty fast enough. So it just falls on the floor.
That is so cute.
And bless her, because she actually started going, oh dear, oh no, oh dear, mama. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, and I picked this up, and it's not dog size, obviously. Never in a million.
Is it bigger?
Yeah.
I'm just asking because she says the dog size. I'm like, is it bigger or is it smaller? Oh, it has to be. It's a bit little human, isn't it? It's gonna be bigger.
I was gonna say,
is it bigger, right?
Yeah, it's a human size,
Because the way you feeding your kid.
No, honestly, I mean, you know what? Today was an instance where we had a moment, and she was wearing her Arsenal kit, and it just fell. It just fell, and Daniel looked at me, and I looked at Daniel, and I was like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" And we both said to each other, especially, now that we're at home with her during lockdown, potty training is so hard. It's genuinely so hard, and no one ever told us about that. And my husband kept telling me, I wish I knew how hard potty training was, because, imagine you're walking around your house and then all of a sudden there's just a bit of wee spilled there, or imagine she's done it where she plays with her toys and then you have to clean every single toy she has.
Oh, no.
It's yeah, honestly. And then she's crying because she wants to play with that one toy that
has pee on it.
Of pee or doo-doo on it. And then she doesn't get it, and she's having a tantrum, and you're like, I can't. And then on top of that, you've got your work colleagues in the background waiting for you because you're on a meeting.
Good girl.
Question I have: how do you potty train like the baby? How did you learn? Like, did you find out? Do you ask people? How'd you do it?
Well, let's say so. With my experience, my mum potty trained me when I was a year old. So when my daughter was a year old, she was like, right, it's time for potty training. I was like, excuse me? Isn't it a bit too early? She was about 14 months old, maybe. Bought her stickers as rewards. And then, because it's weird, because you start to learn their routine of when they do a poos. And then with a wee, you just kind of sit them every now and then. And then when they do something, you make the biggest fiesta and you clap and you dance. And basically it's, for them, it's like the biggest deal. And then, you just encourage them to tell you. Obviously, the older they get, they'll start telling you bobo, chichi, or potty. The one thing is probably the hardest is having patience and not getting angry at them when they do have mistakes. Because for you, it's very easy to be like, just go to sit in the potty. But for them, it's like, but mummy, I couldn't run fast enough, or I was having too much fun playing here with Peppa Pig, and now all of a sudden, damn, I need to go, and the potty's not
To
there.
be fair, I feel like Marcelo can relate to this with Marchie.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like,
I say it because when we got our dog, it was like, it was so like exhausting trying to potty train him. And it was like, people sell you dreams. I swear, people sell you dreams saying, oh, if you get these mats and this spray, they will pick up the scent and they'll pee there. And I'm like, no, that didn't happen to my dog. Maybe my dog was broken. But it took us a good month and a bit, I think. He would literally pee right next to the mat or poo next to the mats, and we would look at him like to tell him off, and he would just put his puppy eyes, and obviously like he was little, and you're just like, oh, like how do you tell them off? I'm sure you experienced that, no?
yeah, I did. It took like, I think 2 months to potty train him. I think he don't listen. They will do exactly what you say. You tell him off, I'll be like, no, I know, and then I'll hit with a newspaper, and then he will do his little puppy face. He will look at me, and then I feel like I'm evil, and I'm like, oh, he's just a baby.
Your heart breaks.
Yeah, but I think but eventually he learned. But yeah, it was long.
Like, no, you're leaving.
So long. Yeah,
you're going in the bin.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's good though, because this is now like a trial for you for when you have your children and potty train. Because, for instance, my partner always says to me, like, remember when we were doing this with Stitch and it took us so long, but it was doing it over and over and again. And it's just with children as well, like with our babies. We're trying to teach him something, and it's just repetition, and patience. I don't have patience.
Neither do I. How about you guys? You patient?
Yeah, I think I am.
I'm quite patient.
Yeah. I can patient, but when you annoyed me, game over.
You'll be whacking your baby with newspaper.
No, with la chancla. But yeah. Josh.
Yeah, so I'm at a stage in my life where kids is like it's not an immediate thought, I guess, but I find it quite interesting. And I think, so I'm 24 now, and like, if you would ask me 4 years ago, where I was like, if you ask me the typical questions, how many kids do you want? Do you like kids? Are you good with kids? I'd be like, no, I'm not interested. Don't really like kids. They're annoying or whatever. But nowadays, I think my idea about them has changed a bit. I don't know if that's come with the age, or I don't know. I'm not saying like I'm going old or anything, but it does intrigue me quite a bit. I think now. I think because my friends around me, so I guess with Jonathan and Marcelo, not quite yet, but other friends that I've seen from grew up around me now have kids, and it's kind of different. Kind of changed my approach to it. My idea around kids has changed quite a bit.
Do you get pressure from your family? Because I'm pretty sure we've all had that auntie that'll be like, "Y cuando va a tener hijos?" Like, shut up.
All the time.
Yeah, I think I'm working on getting a partner first.
There's always that one auntie who'll be like, oh, there's this person and she's very nice. And you're like, oh, okay, but thank you. I think I can find my own person. Thanks for the offer.
Yeah, I sometimes get that from aunties and like family members, like extended family, that like, oh, when are you having kids? When's the kids due? And it's like, oh.
And you know what? They ask you, when are you having a kid? You give them the kid and they're like, when are you having the next one? It's like, hey, like, what? Chill.
I get it from both sides of the family. When are you having kids? I get the one that, at your age, already had a house and had 3 kids. And I'm like, bruh, that was you. This is me.
Also, houses in their times cost like £10. Try buy a house now.
Exactly.
Mama, I love you.
So you guys were saying how, baby don't come with clothes and stuff. Like, what do you think about the fact that now you're splitting your money into like nappies and milk? Like, that the whole finance around having a baby, has it crossed your mind of how expensive they can be?
It crossed my mind that time when I told you I found out that they didn't come with clothing, and I started to look all the time. Then I went to Tesco, had decided to look how much nappies cost, milk and all that stuff. I was like, it's a lot, but I mean, I still do want it, don't get me wrong. But I mean, it's gonna take, financially, we do both have to give up a lot of things.
Yeah, I have 2 friends at work, and they're on different stages, but one is about to have a child, like this month, and the other one has like a 2-year-old, I think now she is. And so they kind of like, they always say like it is quite like a lot of like expenses to it. But what this guy that is expecting the baby. What he did, which I thought was pretty smart, he made like a spreadsheet of everything he needs to find. And so he listed all the prices of what it would be like just going on a standard website. And then at the same time, he then looked at where he could get it like secondhand, like either Facebook Marketplace or charity shops, stuff like that. And his spreadsheet slowly started showing like he's saving himself like $2,000 or $3,000. And it's like, one, I didn't know it was going up to grands just for like the firstborn. I was like, wow, that's already a lot. I guess once you have a child, yeah, you will make it work. You cut things back. It is something that kind of can cause a lot of maybe anxiety sometimes. But yeah, I guess it's in planning. I guess if you're good at planning and stuff like that, or get with someone that's good at planning, just seeing how he did that and thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I guess if I have a kid, I'm probably going to do something similar.
Can I just say I like that? I like that a lot because
that's really smart.
I think when I found out we were going to have a baby, I always love a bit of a discount in anything really. So vouchers or going to like baby shows. I think annually they do about 2 or 3 baby shows in London, in Olympia and sometimes in Excel, I think, but definitely in Olympia. And they do.
I've seen the doggy show.
Yeah.
But basically kind of the same really. They just have all these big brands of like buggies and car chairs, baby carriers, first aid courses, everything at discounted price. So I know for me, I was just a bit like, oh, this pram costs this much here, where can I get it a bit cheaper? I was happy to get hand-me-downs because in my family, Maya was the 3rd little girl to be born. So there was so much clothes already there available. And it's expensive, especially because they grow so quickly, and they at the first 2 months they live in PJs anyway. So there's no point spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on clothes. Your cousin has just worn some probably the last 6 months and it's in brand new condition. If it doesn't bother you, why not? You're saving yourself some money there as well. But that point about trying to, once you're in that position, looking at the options around you, because I think a lot of people take parenting as a marketing advantage. And you will see as soon as you find out you're expecting, it's like, buy this or you need this or how about this, and all of a sudden your Amazon list looks ridiculous of all the stuff you need apparently, and
probably don't even need half of it.
I've got a question. How much do you guys pay for your buggy? Because the one that apparently my wife wants is about 700, 800 pounds. I nearly fell back. I thought that was 100 pounds. It's just some
There's things that are like 1,000. There's things out there for 1,000 pounds.
They have hydraulics and everything,
Sound system.
Literally.
And then 800 pounds just for the buggy, and apparently there's another one for the car. Can you confirm?
The car? Can you confirm? Seat?
Yeah. Is that not the same? Can you just pull it out and whack it in the car?
That's what I always thought. Is that not
That's what I thought. I thought it was a thing.
Well, to be fair, nowadays most of them come with the offer with the car seat.
Yeah, like a bundle.
And we got us at the baby show, and it was like, if you buy your buggy now, you take the car seat for free, basically. And so that's the really good thing about going to the baby shows, because you get discounts, you get offers, you get freebies. So personally, we only paid like £100 because we were lucky enough to have my dad gift the buggy to us, which is it's a good thing. And I think it happens to a lot of people that have a good support system around them and families. Like, you have a baby shower, you get gifted so many things, and I think the only things that not really so much is furniture, like the buggy, the car, and even so your parents will probably be like, oh, I'll give you guys this or that.
That's nice. I hope my family helps me then. Fingers crossed. No, but yeah, I've seen some of them like for 1,500 as well. I just didn't know it was that expensive to be fair.
It's like buying a car.
That's crazy.
I literally nearly had like a little heart attack.
And then
what else?
When they're like 1, or even, I don't know, you guys travel a lot, you might need to buy a traveling buggy, which is like, I don't know, maybe like another £300, a stroller that is easy to travel with.
Yeah, they're a little bit cheaper, but you don't want to be taking the big bulky one because you want it to be like easy to like break down and maybe go with you hand luggage, or not have to pay excess because all of a sudden it weighs like 20
I feel like the guys are gonna leave the podcast today and be like, baby, we're not having kids. No, too expensive. The girls didn't sell it to me.
Question I have, when it comes to the baby, when you're traveling, for example, do you always have to have the buggy? Can you just have him? I see people having it. I thought that's, when you're carrying him with the check.
Kangaroo pouch.
Do you have to take your buggy with you? Or have you guys have to take it, or can you just carry the baby on your chest?
It depends really where you're going, if you're, say for example, you're going to see your family and you're just going to stay with them and you're probably not going to do much and it doesn't bother you to carry them, then you probably can get away with just taking them in the carrier. Now, if you're planning to walk, then it's probably a better idea for you to take a buggy, just because the baby will be more comfortable as well. And two, if you think about it, on your travel to the airport, if you go by car, the baby technically should be in a car seat. So you get those kind of car seat stroller adapters that you can also take on the plane with you.
When you're actually, when you're traveling, say, you can actually take your buggy all the way to the door of the aeroplane if you want, or you can have them in the kangaroo things. The first time we went on holiday, we took him in the carrier so we could get through immigration quick and all the scanners and all that stuff, because we didn't want to have to fold the buggy down and take everything out of the basket. Oh, it's just so ag. So for us, it was easier to have him on the kangaroo. But I mean, you can do both.
Mama's code.
How was your experience traveling with a little one? I mean, that's one of the things that properly scares me.
Yeah, me too.
So for me, I think I was really anxious about it, because at the time that we went, he was 4 months and he would literally scream and cry. He was having issues falling asleep. So I kept thinking, oh my God, we're going to be those people on the airplane that have a screaming child and everyone looks at you shut your child up. And I know that it shouldn't have got to me so bad, because obviously it's a baby, what can I do? But I was that person on a long flight, hearing a child cry, thinking I wouldn't look at them shut your child up, but I would be a bit oh my God, ¿qué le pasa? What's wrong? Is the baby okay? Poor parent. But it would make me really anxious and nervous to see another child cry. So then when it happened to us, do you know what? At the beginning, the white noise of the airplane is your best friend, because babies love the sound of the
engines of the plane.
Yeah, babies love this sound because it reminds them of the womb. So you get on the plane, you feed them while, lift off, and they're probably asleep by the time you're in the air.
Same with me, really. I was quite anxious the first time we flew with Maya as well. She was 4 months, or just about to turn 4 months. And funny story for us, I mixed fed Maya, so I had ready-made formula bottles. And we got to Rome, we got a taxi and dropped us off at the hotel, and we left our bag with all the milk in the carro, and it just left. And we didn't realize until we got up into the room, and I was like, oh, I want to take a nap, so Dan, can you feed Maya? And he's like, where's la maleta?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I was anxious, very anxious, and then adding that to the whole mix, I just thought, gosh. But thankfully for us, we had a good experience as well. Maya slept. I fed her before we took off, because they say, your ears can pop. Babies' ears can pop as well. So obviously they can't chew gum and they can't eat at that very young age. So you just give them a bit of, I don't know, boob or formula, whatever you have, just so they're moving their mouths. And she was fine. She slept the whole way. She was happy. She was happy the whole time we were there. We took her in the buggy as well as the kangaroo. We did recover the luggage at the end, so we did get the milk back, thankfully.
The whole traveling thing with a child, it sounds really scary, but you have to take a very calm approach to it. Be as prepared as you can, but go with that mentality of it's fine, you're with a baby. If you're with your partner, we can do this. Stay calm, because your baby can sense, if you're feeling some type of way. And just think, it's just this flight, or it's just this road trip, and once we get to the other side, we're going to make the most of it. Yeah, and you have to pack cleverly, I guess.
Yeah, because I think once you become a parent, you tend to pack your whole house in your bag, or you want to, because you think, oh, I need this for this, I need that for that, and then all of a sudden when you're traveling, you have restrictions, don't you? So you need to be clever with what you can take and what's necessary and what you can really do without. But what Jess was saying is just, that's a very good point. try maybe not to overthink about it too much. When you do, you have that added pressure on you, almost are expecting the worst to happen. And then when it doesn't, or if it doesn't, then you take a sigh of relief.
I used to be one of those person that said that I would say that I will never travel. When I have a kid, that say I'm not traveling for the next 4 or 5 years because I'm not getting a plane with a kid. But then as time has gone, and I've been on plane with kids, with babies, when I hear babies cry, to be fair, maybe up to the age of 3, I don't know. I literally don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind it. It's when there's like 5 and then they start shouting and they start like for example, I can't remember if it was to Colombia or Bolivia, but it was a long flight. It was a 12-hour flight. But behind us, a kid sat, and he's probably around 5 years old. And then obviously, Tanrico, he started kicking the chair.
Oh, dear.
And then obviously, like Laura, like my wife was looking at me. It's like, le dices o yo le digo? And I was like, I didn't want her to tell her. So I was like, I told the mom, I was like, can you please tell him to stop? And she ignored me, and the kid continued kicking. He was like, hey, and he kept moving the chair. So I was like, okay, let's swap. We swapped. So I sat there. I was like, I'll take it. I'll take 10 hours of that kid. And then, I see his hands start coming over me. He's like touching my hair. And I was like, fam. Literally, I had to get up and I was like, literally in Spanish, I was like, señora, por favor, ¿le puede controlar a su hijo? I've never done that in my life. Literally, like, I think that's rude and I will hate it. And then obviously my wife looking at me, she's bare laughing. She's like, oh, watch when it happens to you when you have your kid. Like that, and he's annoying.
And you know what? It's so funny because I can see that kid being my son, like, 100% that's going to be my child. He is so travieso and inquieto, and you're going to look like you have no control of your child.
I mean, but there's certain kids that, for example, I don't know, maybe to the age of 3, 4, you can tell when they're cute. But this kid was annoying because I don't know why. I don't think he was getting wherever he wanted.
Oh, that's my kid.
It was again wherever he wanted in pantalla, yeah. And his mom was just sitting there with a headphone watching her película, all nice and relaxed, while the kid is jumping, doing a trance on my chair. So obviously,
like, I've seen you guys do loads of traveling, and you guys do quite long haul and like all these adventurous trips and stuff.
Yeah.
You've just said you considered maybe not doing that until child is 3 or 5. Are you scared that you're not gonna maybe be able to have the same adventures as before?
There's a bit of depending like where you're going, I reckon. For example, I don't know, I can't see myself going on a holiday with a newborn to like somewhere like New York, for example, because it's gonna be a lot out and about, and the kid and baby won't really enjoy it. If it was more like somewhere like, I don't know, go to like Tenerife or Miami, even Miami, somewhere that's like more relaxed holiday where you're just chilling out all day, I reckon that will work for me. But then again, I change my mind all the time because I was like, when my baby's born for his first year, I want to take him to New York. So mentally, I'm like, when it comes to the baby, I don't know how I'll react to it. I'm actually, I have the baby here with me.
I've never really thought about it, to be honest, till now. But to be honest, I just thinking about it now, I think it'll be...
Does it give you butterflies?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling a bit like anxious about it. Like it's a bit... Because I'm someone that like I carry a lot of stuff already. Like I have my backpack is packed and it's heavy. My laptop, my cameras, all the equipment that I have, the chargers, power bank. And imagine carry with like kid stuff as well. You need the whole like the baby bag and the buggy and all that stuff. I think I'll just be doing cartel. Sorry?
Do you carry anything at the front?
Nah. But I don't do that. I like carrying one backpack so I don't have to carry anything else.
Yeah.
My wife carries like she gets her purse, her bag, and the little small luggage that you can take on the plane. But I don't do that because I don't like carrying too many things.
You can have the baby in the chest and the GoPro there.
Yeah, start practicing with putting a bag in the front because you probably will be definitely carrying an extra bag or 2.
Yeah, exactly. So,
if not the baby on your chest.
I do that sometimes. I get my backpack put at the front. And I'm like, babe, look, this is how I'm going to be. But then the whole thing, if you go on holidays, would you leave it with someone? Like, after what happened to Madeline, I'm paro about that.
Do you know what?
How'd you do that to go out if you wanted to go out for a drink, for example? There's places there where you can leave the kids.
Yeah,
it's within you. Yeah. It's within you, and very respectful to whatever parents do, because it's true. A lot of the all-inclusive hotels and stuff, they always have the nanny option and stuff. Personally, if I'm going on holiday with my child, we're going on a family holiday so that my child, I'm not going with my partner thinking, we're going to go out and shit, what about our child? No, if we wanted to have that kind of holiday, we'll most probably leave the child with their grandparents here. I'm not going to now book a holiday and think, let's go for some cocktails. Let's, use the nanny service. Like I was saying, your mindset changes a lot with holidays. Me and my partner, we love traveling. did so much traveling before baby. And as soon as, we were going on holiday, it was like, okay, let's cater around family friendly. And you're not really going with the idea of let's go out for dinner, babes. Like, what about the kids?
Mm.
Yeah, I think I share your same thought with that, just because I think for me, I would find it very difficult to feel comfortable with leaving Maya with anyone that I don't know necessarily and that she doesn't know, because it's not only that you need to feel comfortable, but they do as well. Pressure that you just don't want to have. So if I'm going to visit family that live in Colombia or wherever it is, then I'll probably be a bit more relaxed to say, I'm leaving her with my auntie or I'm leaving her with my cousin and she'll be okay. No disrespect to this person, because if they're working as a qualified individual, then, they should have all the checks in place. But I don't think I would be personally capable of doing that.
A question I have for you. So for me, sometimes when I have a kid, I feel I'm gonna be very attached to it, and I don't see myself going on any holidays until the kid is about 14, 15, even that. Because sometimes I even think about it. But the way I'm with my dog, and he's a dog, I'm very attached to it. I'm super attached to it. When we go to Spain and we leave it, for example, when we left the channel will send us videos and pictures every day, updating us to what he's up to. And this is me being with a dog. So when I have a child, maybe until he's like 12, 13, I won't go nowhere without him. That's how I feel. Like don't know how you ladies react to that. Like, had you go holidays without them? Do you consider it?
I haven't had a holiday without Maya yet. I've had weekends, but I think I would consider it. I think sometimes you need to remember that before you became parents, you were a couple, right? And it was just used to. And it's okay to have that time with each other without your child or your children, because, you need to kind of
unwind.
not forget that spark that you guys had before you became parents. I think I'll probably consider it, if I'm honest. Maybe a short weekend. I don't know, like what's those breaks?
City breaks.
Yeah,
City breaks.
A couple nights or whatever. And if I know that Maya is okay and with someone that I trust, then I'll probably feel quite comfortable to leave her.
I would consider it if my partner's telling me we're going to the Maldives. Like, anyone can stay with my child. But I still feel like I wouldn't be able to just leave my baby hasn't laid over at Los Abuelos' house. Like, they've been here to look after him, but never outside the house. And I don't feel comfortable with that yet. So unless it's the Maldives, then I think at the moment, no. But again, it's my error because it's...
Fair enough. Hopefully a change. Maybe like a weekend, but for example, 2 weeks like in Miami, nah. Different time zone, I think I will go nuts.
I also feel like if I'm in Miami for 2 weeks, I'd probably forget my child.
Speaking like,
there's no in between.
Like, listen, next week, here's 2 tickets to Miami. Only you and your partner.
Bye, babe.
I'll be like,
Leave the baby.
There's just no in between. Like, the first time I left my baby, like, he stayed with his dad, was 3 weeks after I had him, and I went to see the Spice Girls concert. I was not missing it for the world. And everyone was like, Jeff, like, it's so soon. I was like, yeah, but it's the Spice Girls. Like, he's not going to miss me. And I went to that concert and I was like, oh my God, Spice Girls, who's Leo?
Would you say this would maybe scare you, leaving your kids? Like, is there anything else that would scare you about having babies or pregnancy?
I think for me, when it comes to pregnancy, I'm a bit miscarriage, a bit scared of that, because I've had people around me and family that have gone through that, especially being our first baby. I think that's one of the things that scares me the most. I don't know how delicate we have to be. We get too excited and then boom, something happens, and then obviously it's gonna be like a big blow. I mean, when it's about to come out, here we go. And there's a hospital, right?
Everyone's waiting for it.
At the hospital, right? So I already know the distance, how long it would take me. Do you guys ever do that? Like, practice the route?
They tell you to.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, because I've seen it online. I have friends that practice. So I already had the routes, but it's crossed my mind that I will start practicing the route, trying to get there and time it how long it would take me to get there. Because this hospital is not near here. It's half an hour. I'm like, why if the baby just pop in the car? I think I'll pass out.
How do you think you would react to that?
I don't know, because my wife always tells me, when you come inside, you're going to be inside and you're going to watch the baby come out. And I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, yes, you are.
Wait, guys, I'm sorry. I thought you said your wife tells you when you come inside, like her,
no.
Let's make the baby. I was like, whoa.
No, I bet when she's having the baby. Like she was like, you have to come inside with me. So because before that, I used to say, no, I'm not going inside because I'll probably faint. Did your partners do that? Did they go inside with you guys?
Yeah.
And they saw that coming out.
They saw that coming out.
It wasn't really an option. For us, it was always something like we would do. I was fine with it. If I'm honest, some people are a bit, they don't want to have their partners there for whatever reason, or they don't want to have their partners look at the baby come out. If you're in that much pain, the last thing that's crossing your mind is if your husband's watching the child being born. In your head, all you're doing is get the baby out. That really didn't bother me that much. If they said they didn't want to be in the room, I'd be like, I didn't make the baby alone.
I was definitely the person to be like, don't look at it, just stay away from it.
Why do you think people are worried? Like, Mum, do you think they're gonna scar?
I think it's because it doesn't look attractive. Like for me, it was that I thought, because you hear stories of men getting put off it, the same way you hear stories of men getting put off sex during pregnancy because they think that for whatever reason they're big enough to touch the baby. You know, they're like, nah, sorry, babes, I don't really feel like doing anything to you.
A bit of a horror movie every time they try.
And they're like, oh, I'm going to poke the baby in the face. It's like, babes, you're really not.
But it's true. And it's a valid points for the guys to feel that way, and for women as well. It's a strange thing obviously happening for you and for the guy.
Let's do this. Did you know the woman's bit get as big as a watermelon when the baby's coming out?
Nah, I didn't know that.
Wow. Okay, I never pictured a watermelon. That's huge.
Think about your wife the next time you have a watermelon.
Avoiding watermelons now.
What's the placenta? What's that? I actually don't know. I had the time to Google, but I didn't want to Google. I just want to find out.
Tell them what we can do with the placenta, Melly.
Well, so basically your wife or your partner's delivered the baby, and then they say, right, it's time to deliver the placenta. Deliver the placenta, and then all of a sudden they ask you, do you want to take it home? What do you say?
Like a takeaway.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it?
I think I would take it. I will have it there. Recuerdo. It will dry out. Wait, can you eat that?
What is it?
People have actually made tablets. So there's some research. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I do know there's research around people eating their placenta, and it can help with postnatal depression. Like, heard stories about people like cooking it, come on, sudao.
Basically,
smoothies out
Con
of it.
papas.
It's basically an organ, I would say, that when you're pregnant, it starts becoming this thing. Like, it provides oxygen and nutrients to the baby while it's in you. I don't know if you've ever looked at a placenta, it has like roots, like a tree, like it has little sprouts and stuff. And it almost looks like the tree of life. And it's basically that for your child.
Yeah, it's what keeps your child alive, really. And
Yeah, I think we were wondering that. Did you guys eat it?
Did you guys take it home?
no,
Jess is smiling.
Just did.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I did see it a little bit, but I didn't eat it. The thought of eating it just doesn't really...
it sounds very weird, but when I think of a placenta, I think of liver, and I don't really like liver, so in my head I think I probably won't like the taste of placenta.
I think the only way I would have maybe considered having it would have been if I got it in capsules, because obviously all the benefits that Mel just said about it helps with your breast milk, your hormones. It makes you feel, apparently, to avoid baby blues as well. And you wouldn't taste it like that, but it's also very expensive.
Wait, so you get it and just like send it off, and then they send it back to you?
Yeah, so at the hospital they will take it.
Oh, the hospital themselves. Okay.
So
I think I would take it, but not. I wouldn't eat it. I would like literally. You can dry it up, right?
yeah,
And have it un librito. Like, would you get the placenta, Jonah?
I never knew you could take it like that.
Well, now you know.
I don't know. I don't think I would.
Just read it.
I'm gagging just hearing about it. So
I just like to have recuerdos
Yeah, he does. That's Marcelo.
Marcelo is definitely keeping the...
in a little.
What
book.
if you find Marchie eating it?
Oh my days! I think he would get a beating of his life, Machi, for that. I was like, how'd you eat? You know, his placenta. That's a bit disturbing now.
Puppy, good girl.
What do you think about... You've seen the baby's head come out. You waited a few weeks, now you're going to have sex. You're not feel intimidated by that?
what's the rules? Because I heard there's a rule, like a time limit.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. What about before and after? Is there a time limit before and after?
You can do it while you're at hospital.
What?
Yeah, before the baby.
Because all I know is Friends. I don't know if you've seen the episode Rachel's about to pop, and then the only thing you can do is Ross if they have sex. And obviously that's my go-to. That's the only thing I've seen that I know. So I don't know if that's true.
As long as your waters haven't broken, then it's okay.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Yeah, I think
because then
risk of infection.
Yeah, having sex actually helps it as well.
To dilate, it helps.
You have to be big spoon all the time.
Why does that help with pregnancy?
It helps you relax.
Yeah, it's like a natural way of helping you to dilate. I know that for when you're, let's say, early stages of labour.
Yeah, I think mostly it just relaxes your walls.
What about after?
What about after though? That's my question.
Yeah.
How long is after? Is it straight away?
If you don't mind blood.
Yeah, because you bleed for up to 6 weeks.
6
or
weeks?
Or more.
Oh.
As a man, imagine you haven't already, I don't know, your belly gets big around 5-6 months. So say from 6 months to 6 weeks after the baby, you've probably not had sex. Like, you guys are gagging for it.
So you just YOLO, basically. Just have to power through, I guess.
Power through.
What if you have like stitches? Could you like? It's like a no-no for a long time then.
I think it's probably the same. It depends because let's say if you have a caesarean, your recovery time as well is a bit longer, isn't it? So you probably feel a bit sore, like abdominally, anyways.
Just considering
It's not the same, is it?
No. It's designed to basically go like whoop.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
As if
That's
nothing ever happened, because it was the first question I asked my partner. I was like, tell me I'm all right. And yeah, it was good. Got the man thinking, a watermelon just came out of there. Now I'm going to go in. Are you even still feeling? Like, can you feel me, babe? I'm inside. Can you feel me? Like, I'm imagining this is what goes through men.
That's probably true.
Let me tell you straight away, no, it's
A lot of swelling.
yeah.
She looks beaten up, black and blue, like Chris Brown and Rihanna.
So I'm guessing you just want 2.
One.
Just one. You don't want another one.
See, I always thought I wanted like at least 2, but now I'm like maybe just 1.
Just
People tell
one.
me, oh, you shouldn't have just 1. You need to have at least 2.
Yeah.
Child. I was like,
Compañero.
That's the question. But where does it say you have to?
I've always said 3. Always said I wanted a girl first, and then after not immediately, so after maybe a bigger window, then have a girl and a boy to get close together.
I was a girl first.
I always thought that having a girl and having an older, she might be able to help out. I don't know. What
Oh.
Help around the house.
No, to be fair, that's clever.
It's interesting, right? Because that's one thing that there's not much control over it.
As long as I get one girl and one boy, I will be happy.
You'll be happy regardless.
Plus, I've been looking at all the holiday deals. There's always 2-2. 2 adults and 2 children.
If Erica was on, she would 100% agree with you because it is true. It's always like the family deals are like 2 adults, 2 kids. It's perfect. It's all equal. And
You never see 2 adults and 3 kids.
because if you have 3, it's like, right, guys, we need to do rock, paper, scissors. Who's staying home?
Yeah. Exactly.
Rotate them.
Like when kids come around, we all have this pre-baby. Like we all have this image of how we want things done, how we imagine it. You know, we're like this as humans. We all want it the perfect way and our way. But I think Mel will agree with me that when it happens, it will become the time. Even if you think it's not the time, it will become the time.
Yeah.
And you will get all your shit together and, you know, let's do this. And probably the piece of the puzzle that's missing and you just don't know it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy as well because, you know, I even say, including myself, before having my, you know, you would think I want this many children or I think I would like this first or that first. And then I'm kind of happy the way it is right now. I don't know. Do I miss the thought of having another child, like a boy or a girl? I don't know. It's interesting how before you have children, you think you have this perception of what things are going to be like. And then once you're in that position, it might be swayed.
So guys, we usually wrap it up with a golden tip. And I think today is use your condoms.
No, or unless you guys have a golden tip. Do you feel like after this chat, do you feel like you know a bit more? Do you feel more nervous, or do you feel more excited at the thought of children?
I'm still a bit more like I don't want it yet, but no, it does like kind of see it less like as a big like scary thing that's happening, more of a
Like, it's all fun at the end.
yeah. I guess yeah, it is what you make it really. And as long as you know you and your partner are both happy and on board with everything, I think things will work out very well.
And it's teamwork as well.
Yeah.
So I'm ready.
Marcelo's gonna have 10 kids.
I'm ready. No, I'm not gonna have 10, but and then I'll learn a bit more today about all the.
Come October, we'll be going to Marcelo's baby shower.
No, that's too soon. No.
You mark my words. This quarantine. Oh, guys, actually, I'm gonna give you a tip. It saves you money. We did a nappy raffle. So each guest, if they wanted to participate, had to bring a packet of nappies, and it saved us a hell lot of money. I remember that after the baby shower, we stacked them all up. It all added up to like £730 worth of nappies.
Oh.
And believe you, we only bought our first packet of nappies in December, just gone. And that made my child 6 months. So for 6 months, we didn't buy any nappies. Josh,
what about you? What do you feel like you've learned anything from this? Do you feel less anxious, more anxious?
It's all scary. I think it's always going to be something scary, something new. But above everything, it's just seeing you guys. I mean, regardless of what could happen wrong and the not being prepared, etc., you guys look like you're doing fine. That's still at the back of my head. Obviously, I'm not quite there yet. You can tell Marcelo's the most advanced person who's just ready to go. Yeah, I think it's all a good thing. But we'll see.
Right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It's been fun.
Thank you very much for being part of our episode.
No worries. Thank you for having us.
Yes, do your thing, girl.
Mama's Code out.
Mama's Code.
Like, guys, come look. Here's the baby, and here's the placenta.
Exactly. Here's the placenta we learned 4 years ago. Imagine having a baby shower.